everyone, and welcome to another episode of Taco Matta Tuesday, the show where we eat healthy, delicious tacos and have conversations about life. Hey, you guys. Welcome to the podcast. Happy Tuesday. So sorry that this episode is being released a little bit later than it normally does on a Tuesday, but if you have been following along on the gram, you will know that I am out on my butt today. I am under the weather, which makes total sense after the last few months that I've had, and definitely after this last weekend of just pure amazingness and insanity, which we will get to here momentarily. But let's talk this week first about the taco. There is not one. I will say, however, though, during this weekend, I made just straight up old-fashioned tacos with one of the gals that was hosting me while I was out in Connecticut. Ground beef, simple seasonings, easy toppings, made some sauteed veggies. We actually used whole milk Greek yogurt as our sour cream instead of normal sour cream. Cheese was optional. I didn't have any cheese. But they were tasty. A little bit of crunch with some shredded lettuce, some tomatoes. What I do want to give you, though, in honor of me being sick right now, is actually the note that eating tacos is not only healthy for you, but could be really good for you when you're sick, especially if it contains ingredients like garlic and chilies. So what I did want to do is recommend a hot sauce that I got here within Colorado. I actually just picked it up at a grocery store, so I'm assuming you can get it just about anywhere, or you could order it online. But it's from a company called Yellowbird. And the hot sauce that I got was the blue agave sriracha, and it was freaking delicious. So I know I'm going to be using it a little bit later today, in addition to eating my chicken noodle soup. I know. Sounds pretty classic sick, but that's what we're doing. So I wanted to at least give that recommendation for those of you that are A, looking for a new hot sauce, and B, needed the go-ahead that you are more than allowed to eat tacos when you're sick. So there's that. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the podcast for this week, which is just to catch all on everything that happened this weekend. I am still coming just down and just trying to fully process the incredible things that took place this weekend. For those of you that, again, maybe haven't listened to the podcast the last couple of weeks or new to the podcast, first off, welcome. Excited to have you. But I went out to Connecticut for a DECA weekend. They were doing DECA Strong, DECA Mile. If you're not familiar with DECA, it is a form of hybrid racing. It essentially is functional fitness zone mixed in with your option of running. There's certain races that have running, certain races that don't. I specialize in the races that don't, but did do races that did this weekend. So it was a weekend just full of opportunity and excitement because I have never formally, actually in person, met my coach, Kevin Gregory, who is the DECA Strong world champion from last year. And I've also never been to the gym that I am a part of from miles and miles away out here in Colorado. So got to go visit the gym, visit Kevin and his wife, visit the team. And that was my favorite part, quite honestly, was just the people there. They're just your people. Undoubtedly, they're just your people. So supportive, just on the same level with perspectives and just drive and will and grit and resilience. These people have amazing backgrounds and stories. I loved every moment of it. I got lost in it, and it honestly went by so freaking fast because I was just so lost in it. But what was insane was the results that came out of this weekend. I have said this for a couple of podcasts now, but I called it last weekend on the podcast where I said that there is no doubt in my mind that I'm going to go out and execute the plan that I have for my DECA Strong individual race because I have worked nothing short of hard. And I just feel so confident and trusting within the work and effort that I've put in over the last couple of months. And so I had called my shot that I was going to go low 13 minutes during the Strong this weekend. And I was just really excited to do a team's race later in the day with one of my buddies, AJ. and do a Deca Mile, which is the first time I've ever done the Deca Mile individually the next day, just so I could say I tried it, I did the thing, earned my trifecta, etc. Right? So wasn't really putting a ton of pressure on that specific race. Really, everything was on the Deca Strong, which was the very first race that I did that Saturday morning. So I called it right, and I went 13:03, which for perspective, my very first race in Deca about 6, 7, maybe 8 races at most ago was a little over 19 minutes. And in February of this year, I went 14:42. In, was it April? April, I think it was. In April, I went, or was it the end of March? I think it was the end of March. I'm just kidding. Either way, something around that time frame. I went 13:48. This weekend, I went 13:03, and that is 19 seconds off of the fastest time in the world right now. So I will be sitting in 4th place in the entire world for all females in the Deca Strong race. And I am completely just enamored with what in the hell happened during that race and how I pulled through. Nothing wrong at all. It just was, there was flow. There was a ton of hurt and pain because, you know, you're going fast there at the end and you're just trying to muster out whatever it is that you have left. But to just be laying there on the floor and hear the number 13:03 call out, and you realize that you've been working on not only getting to that time goal, but just that your goal of racing in the elite wave just came true. Like, there's no way that I'm getting knocked out now out of the top 15. I mean, unless some people put up some really impressive times over the next couple of months, it is very certain that I will be racing in the elite wave, which is something I've been shooting for since last year. I was almost brought to tears, and I have just been in such shock since then that I was able to pull that off. But I'm also not shocked at all based off of my mentality and how I approached both physically, mentally, and emotionally just this whole training block and this experience going into this weekend. To add to it, I was able to do a phenomenal teams race with my buddy AJ. We put up a good time. We'll probably put up another time here before the end of this year. The following day, I went into the Deca Mile as like, you know what? I just want to, there's no pressure. I'm not trying to qualify in this. I just want to say that I did it. And more importantly, I just want to be present. I just want to have fun. I just want to enjoy this. And I know that sounds kind of psychotic because to put yourself through that kind of like, you can't breathe. You feel like your legs might fall off, to be like, yeah, just, I want to relax. I want to be present. I want to have fun. It just sounds weird. But for me, that's what that is, right? I just want to enjoy it. When I simmed this race about 3 months ago, just, you know, seeing how I would do, I came in at 26 minutes. I was laying on the floor, and Kelly, my judge, came up to me. He's like, "You're freaking disgusting." And I was like, "What? What did I do?" She's like, "You just did that in 20 minutes and 48 seconds. And I was like, "What?" And even my coach came up to me like, "Sorry, what time did she just put up?" And it was the fastest time that's ever been done at Underdog Fitness for the females. And it earned me like 7th place on the world leaderboard. So like I'm currently in an elite standings as well for that race. And I'm like, I didn't even try. Of course I tried, right? You have to put in the effort. But like, I was just flowing and there was no pressure. And here we go. Like I put up that time, which should be a lesson in its own right, of mindset. Like we say every single week is everything. And the amount of pressure that we put on ourselves is just absurd. I went into this without any pressure, without any expectation. And what I came out on the other side with now is just this amazing result and some incredible decisions to make of what am I going to do at World Championships if I happen to qualify elite in this event? Will I do it or will I not? We'll leave that decision for later. So I digress there. But then I ended up racing 2 unexpected races. One with Amber Tate, which is known as the box queen, box step over queen of Deca. And she's just the sweetest thing. She saw me do my race with AJ the day before, was like, "Yo, you're good. Let's do something tomorrow." And so we went after the world record for the Deca Mile females teams. And we were short of that by about 40 something seconds, which was insane to go that fast in a race that I don't really train that much, like as far as the mile goes versus the strong. And for her and I putting up a third place qualifying time that we have now decided we for sure want to try and go for the top spot at World Championships this year. And then my coach, who, I mean, this is just insanity. Like, I never could have dreamed this up. He asked me to do a team's race with him to end the day for the both of us. And I am one of those cheesy people where I love to make my coach proud, but then to be able to share space with the world champion from 2023 in this event, not only in just the teams, but also in individual, and just the person that has helped me make what has felt impossible feel totally possible, has allowed for me to believe in myself more than anything, and has helped me become the athlete that I am today. It was just such an honor, and I am so grateful for those 9 minutes that I got to spend with Kevin Gregory on that course. It almost brought me to tears a little bit. I haven't told him that. I probably will never tell him that. But it was just a really meaningful thing just to walk away. That's how I ended the weekend, was just to throw down with my coach and just have nothing but a phenomenal time. It was a magical weekend, and it was just so many magical things happening at once that I was like, am I feeling? Am I numb? Like, am I excited? Am I just like I didn't even know what was happening. I was just like, I have this amazing relationship with my boyfriend who dropped me off at the airport and is like FaceTiming me every day, made me the cutest good luck video. If you got to see it, then you were blessed by this adorable, incredible video that he made. For me, for the race day. And then, picks me up, surprises me at the airport, like just all of these things, right? Where for the last 6 to 12 months, I've worked my ass off trying to hit this goal. I've had things come into my life, wanted or unwanted, that I've had to navigate through. I've had to make a hard decision to leave a relationship where someone that I loved and really cared about, like just a lot of things have just been happening. And it's always easy, right, to wonder, like, when is it ever going to be my time? When will I finally happen? And this weekend, it happened. It was my time. It just came one after one after one. And it was kind of overwhelming, but it was amazing all at the same time. And so I just wanted to share all of this along with some things for you today to remind you that your time is in fact coming, that it might feel like forever, that you might be questioning it. But my friend, just like it was for me this weekend, it is coming for you, and it might already be here for you. And it might just be simply you just need to become more aware of it. And so I just wanted to talk about that and give you guys just a couple of things as it relates to that. I'm hoping that something hits. But I had this conversation with Kevin's wife, Jessica. Jess, you're the sweetest person if you're listening to this. Absolutely love and adore you. And I got to spend some time in the car with her on the way to the grocery store, just like talking about life and about things that we've been through, how we love to help other people, just perspectives that we have. And one thing that I walked away with is just how special it is that you are one decision away from changing your entire life. You are one decision away from changing your entire life. My one decision was to get off the couch. That one day where I couldn't get off the couch because I was too depressed and lethargic, living my own life that I wasn't actually living at all. I was one decision away there, and I decided to make it, that I was going to live life a different way and actually just start living with purpose and with excitement and with joy. I had one decision to continue to fight for a relationship that was going nowhere, and I decided to make the decision that I deserved better. I have made certain decisions in my life, and those one decisions have compiled into something absolutely incredible. And so if you are sitting here waiting to have this experience, to have something happen for you, but you haven't made the decision, you're sitting on your hands right now, this is your moment and your calling that you need to make the decision and courageously step one foot in front of the other as you make that decision. And that decision, as you can see, is going to change your entire life. And guess what? It might not happen right now. You might make the decision And your time won't come for a couple of years. That is totally okay. But just know that when it feels like it's taking forever, to stay aligned with the purpose of your life, the purpose for making the decision in the first place. And one thing I talked with Jessica about is like, you know what? It doesn't have to be something spectacular or grandiose or something earth-shattering. Some people hear the word or the question, what is your purpose in life? And they think they have to have some metaphorical or beautiful poetic answer. And you don't. My purpose was just to actually start living, was just to actually become present again in the things that were happening for me, not just the things that were happening to me, right? And so when you feel like it's taking forever, find that purpose that can be as big or as small as just, you know what? My purpose is just to make someone smile, to make myself smile, to make myself laugh, right? Whatever that purpose for your life is, or for just getting up every single day, find that. Redefine that for all that matter. Find that again and stay aligned to that when you feel like, gosh, I'm just going through the trenches and I'm wondering when my time is going to come. Find that again. And what I imagine that you'll recognize is, again, that life isn't happening to you. It's showing up for you right now in this moment. And you're going to put on those new lenses of sunglasses and you're going to start to see all the things that are actually showing up for you that maybe you didn't see before because you were so focused on everything that wasn't happening for you, right? Wondering if it was going to happen for you, asking yourself the questions that weren't getting you the results that you wanted. But now you are. Now you're asking yourself better answers. You're asking yourself better questions that are giving you better answers. You're now leading this life with a whole new perspective because you're looking at it through this lens of what is my purpose and not what is the outcome. And if I don't meet that outcome, well, crap, like forget it. Like this was a waste of time. You're just staying totally present and joyful in whatever is happening to you right now in this moment because you're aligned to your purpose and you know what's important to you. And because you're aligned to your purpose and you know what's important to you, you're able to make the right decisions as they come to you one after one after one. And as we've noticed, all those little decisions that you're making right now are going to lead you to something that you never could have imagined. Hence this last weekend for me. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to share is drop the numbers. Drop the numbers, drop the scales, and just get excited about the moments that you want to create and the things that you want to be capable of doing. As a trainer and a coach, especially for a lot of people that are trying to lose weight right now, they keep wondering, when will I ever see results? When will I ever have that time where I feel confident in my skin? When is that time ever going to come for me? And I can tell you that they ask themselves that questions because they're so focused on having something else outside of them telling them that they're worthy, telling them that they're enough. They've completely forgot to listen to the voice inside their own heart to find their enoughness. They've completely let go of the perspective of how much they are doing and instead are only seeing what it is that is not happening for them, all the things that they're not doing at this point, right? So I just want to say this, if you're waiting for your time to come, maybe it's time to drop the numbers, to drop the scales, to drop the expectations, and just get really excited about everything that you want to be capable of doing. Whether it's now or in the future, ask yourself, what are the moments that I want to live? What are the experiences that I want to have while I get to live on this earth? And if you can put your daily actions around those things and answer those questions so honestly with yourself, you're going to see results right away. I can tell you that much. Those are questions that are worth asking. When you start focusing on what it is that you can do in this lifetime and what it is that you want to feel and the moments and experiences that you want to have, life becomes wonderful. Not just because all the wonderful things happen to you, but because all the things that you almost didn't want to have happen to you, they happen for you in the best ways because they teach you the lessons that build you into the person that you want to be, that will therefore elicit the expectations and the outcomes that you've always desired, right? So if you just can, for a moment, drop those external things that you're hoping that are going to tell you that you were worthy enough of having these things, that you are enough to be loved, that you are enough and worthy to just have everything that it is that you've ever wanted. I really think if you could drop those, you're going to find so much peace. And you're going to be able just to become so sucked up in the moment that is here and that is now. And you're going to fall in love with that, and you're going to appreciate that so much. And you're not going to be worried about when your time is coming. You're just going to be worried about making every single minute of the current moment count. And that's really what it's all about. Another thing that I want to tell you that I've already kind of shared, but it's this idea that struggle is a gift, not a death sentence. Talking with Jess in the car, I was just like, I think really where my life started to change was when I started to create a different relationship with fear, and when I started to create a different relationship with struggle and with pain, and realizing that pain and struggle and things that are not what you desire, when those things happen to you, it's not because someone's picking on you. It's just because there's a lesson that you need to learn. And if you don't learn that lesson, how do you ever expect to show up as the person that can handle whatever it is that comes on the other side of what it is that you hope to achieve? Because it doesn't get easier. You just get better at handling whatever it is that gets thrown at you. And I think that's the biggest misconception. And so anytime I go through these hard spots, I'm not asking myself, why me, or when will it ever stop? I'm like, okay, what do I need to learn in this moment? Because clearly, especially if this is a repeat trend, there is a reason that this keeps happening. And if I ever want to get past it to move on to the next level, I've got to learn that lesson right here and right now. So I hope that that resonates alone, that the struggle that you're experiencing right now and the fact that what it is that you want isn't happening for you right now, it's probably because there's something that you need to learn, and the universe is showing up for you in that way. And that's a gift. And if that doesn't necessarily relate for you, well, then think about it this way. The universe thought that you were strong enough to handle it, so therefore it dealt you that card. Because it knew that if you were able to handle that, there is nothing that could ever break you. I love that side of it too. How lucky is it that you were the chosen one to go through this and to show yourself what it is that you're capable of, to build a new perspective, to build an unstoppable character within yourself that's going to allow for you to climb mountains that you didn't even know was possible. Okay, so what a gift that is. And this is something which I'm actually really excited to share about. I'll share a little bit more about the end, but I was doing a guest interview podcast. And I shared this on this podcast. I said, what's really interesting about life is the better you get, the smaller your strides get. Like, the more times you set PRs, or when you set PRs, it's not from chopping off minutes. It's like you chop off a second, you gain an extra calorie, right? On the workout that you were trying to burn the most calories on or whatever. Like, the strides that you take now when you're at that elite solid level versus the strides you were taking when you first started, they get smaller and smaller and smaller, at least in relation to the amount of progress that you see being made, right? You kill yourself over just an additional second off your time. Know that you're not alone in that, and know that that is totally normal and that is totally natural. And if you right now are comparing your past self from, well, I was able to chop off 2 minutes off my last Deca Strong time, and this time I only chopped off 5 seconds. Well, guess what? That means that you're getting so dang good that it's going to be even that much more of a fight to get to that next second off, right? Isn't that what this is all about? Is about getting better? It doesn't matter by how much or how little. It's just the fact that you are continually showing up for yourself and getting even just that much better and believing that you can get that much better. So don't get stuck in how big your strides are. Just get stuck in the fact that you're doing it anyways. And that it's okay to not make these huge monumental movements, that the fact that you're putting one foot in front of the other is enough, and it'll always be enough. So stop waiting for you to chop 10 minutes off your time of whatever it is that you're shooting for. Just get excited that you have something that is that important to you to work hard towards, right? And therefore, because you're doing that right now, your time is already here. You're living it. You're doing it. Because here is the other fun thing. When I was on the floor rolling around at the fact that I had just qualified elite at a 13:03 time, that excitement lasted for, let's say, a couple of seconds. And it's not to say that I'm not excited. I'm freaking thrilled. I'm so proud of myself. But that excitement only lasted so long before well, I could go faster here. I could do a little bit better here. And you're already setting the next goal. So just realize that a lot of this love and this joy that you're really searching for is not always at the pinnacle, is not at the result. It's in what you're doing every single day. And so this is just a call and a remembrance to go back to enjoying the journey, to enjoying the process, that your time is right here and right now simply because you have the courage and the resilience to show up every day for something that you care about. And how lucky it is that we have something that we actually care about. Because I've been on the other side where I had nothing to look forward to, nothing to really care about, and I was numb. And now I get to care about so many different things and work hard towards so many different things. And the hardest decision that I'm going to have to make by the end of this year is which races am I going to do, because I've qualified for so many now. Could you imagine going from I don't even know where to start and I can't even get off the couch to live my life to, well, shoot, now I've qualified for all these races. I feel like between a hard and a rock spot of which ones I'm going to do. What a freaking flip, man. Jesus. Right? So hopefully something in there resonated. But all of that to say, you guys, life goes so fast. This weekend went by so fast. World Championships is going to be here before I know it. So what I want to do right now is, instead of thinking about what my next training block is going to be and getting super caught up in my splits and how I can get a second faster and da-da-da-da, yes, while I have some big goals and some big aspirations of what it is that I can do by the end of this year, I just want to be present right now in this specific moment of just in what's happened and what's currently happened and all of the love that I'm being dealt from so many different angles, because it all goes by so quickly and we work way too hard to not just experience it all in the moment. We work way too hard to not recognize the work that we do day in and day out. So just remember that life goes so fast, and the flip side of that is not only should you enjoy what's happening for you right now, but also that those things that aren't happening for you, or those things that are happening to you that you're like, why me? They don't last forever. This too shall pass. And that your time is truly coming. But just for right now, just stay present. Just be here with me in this moment as I sniffle and snore and try not to cough through the last minute of this podcast. You are so much more capable than you give yourself credit for. And you are also so incredibly deserving and worthy and enough of everything that you hope for and everything that is amazing and beyond that comes to you. But until it does, recognize all the good, even all the sticky stuff that's happening right now. Recognize all of it right now for what it is, and just be super thankful that it's happening for you right now here in this moment. And just know that that special moment that you've been waiting for will be just right around the corner. Thank you guys so much for showing up for you today, and I hope that this podcast resonated in some way, shape, or form. I know it was a lot of babble, but speaking of fun, exciting babble, while I was out in Connecticut, got the amazing opportunity to be a guest on the Inspire to Run podcast. And next week, I will be releasing that episode here on my platform, here on my page. and you'll get a chance to listen to all of the amazing things that happened in that guest interview. So get excited for that episode released next week. But until then, you guys stay present, stay joyful, and I will see you guys next week for another episode of Talk About It Tuesday. See you then.